Don't save them. They don't want to be safe. Don't save them. They don't want to be safe. Don't save them. They don't want to be safe. I was listening to this BGS video a moment ago, a little bit earlier, and I wanted to address it, respond to it a little bit, taking both sides of this because I could understand both sides a little, somewhat, because I'm a person that does listen and look at, you know, the plight of previous generations and current generations and what we're probably going to be facing in the next generation to try and assess or make a better decision on my everyday life. I guess I'll stay in the slow lane for this one because I want to try and concentrate a little bit more on this video while driving. Probably not safe. First, let's get the millennial bashing out of the way. I pick up my sledgehammer to do this. Yeah, I really do believe that some millennials are quite, I want to say a lot of millennials are quite whiny. That goes into the victimhood mentality that a lot of millennials, black male or black, white, Hispanic, Asian, well, not so much Asian, well, some Asians, and male and female have been kind of brainwashed and indoctrinated into, or taught, I should say, is a better word. And I can understand why, you know, they say some of the things that they say. But at the same time, simply put, what are you going to eat for breakfast tomorrow? Like, I mean, I understand you got problems and, you know, there's issues and it's not going well. It's not the white picket fence. You know, it's not the two kids with the dog running around and you got a decent home or whatever. Like, you don't have a decent job. The housing market wasn't there. And, you know, I understand that. But tomorrow you got to eat some breakfast. You got to eat some lunch. You got to plan out your day. What are you going to do? You need to figure that shit the fuck out. So to get to... I don't want to hit you. Okay. To get to more off that, really. And to get to what BGS was talking about, you know, he did understand and take some, or he did understand, and I guess for his generation, took some blame, if you want to call it that. He understand what his generation did to cause this in this generation, the millennials. And you know, he's, I believe he's one of the few, the great, that actually have come back. And even though, like, you know, you get a lot of bashing or what have you, it's not really that bad. It's over the internet, so you can always mute it, and you don't really have to listen to it. But he's trying to teach people, and I think sadly we've been stuck on topics like this and others for a little bit too long, and we need to be moving towards self-empowerment, economic empowerment, increasing our status, increasing our status, making better avenue, or what's it called, changing lanes here, so I apologize, but making things better for ourselves and those that are coming after us. You know, what are we doing to build wealth? What are we doing to get to a better point in our lives and secure our own future into our 40s? You know, to millennials, to the millennials' plight and story, I'll give you my own experience. I graduated high school 2004, went to college for about 2 years where I played football at good old Missouri Vet, and got out of that. Just didn't really want to do football, but they were giving me money, so I did it. Did that for 2 years and came back and started working in a liquor store. So this is around 2007 going into 2008. Right then and there, or right then and around that time, the housing market crash occurred. You know, you started to see, like, the job market dwindle. My own brother lost his job. My sister lost her job probably maybe less than 2 years, as she worked for Templeton Investments. My brother worked for D.R. Horton as a draftsman. He hasn't done stuff like that in a while. Now he worked a call center job. Myself, I was lucky enough, because of my skills, doing computer system administration and things like that, and being an autodidact, like, you know, I taught myself a lot in terms of what I do. I did a lot of different things for myself, and I also improved my chances, and I worked on myself and my skills not so much like on the, you know, the level of like Kevin Samuels. I didn't work so much on like, you know, the way I looked, but I did work on myself in the terms of the skills that I have. And so with that, I looked better. What's it called? I looked better to employers. I looked better to colleagues. I improved my skills. I polished my skills, I should say, connected with other people, and did what I could to not only just gain more money, but improve my chances of gaining more money. And I think, you know, so a lot of millennials grew up in a really, really tough time, and some did that, and some just were not strong enough to do that. I'm 32 right now. At the age of 30, my dad sent me a picture, and I always remember this. He says, when I was 30, I had 3 kids and a house. And, like, you know, that's my dad saying this. You know, my parents divorced back in 98, so I was 13, 14 during that time. But they immigrated from Jamaica. My dad came first, went to New York, did his thing, so on and so forth. And, you know, he was born in, I think, 1952, 54, something like that. He's up there. He's like 66 now, so, yeah, I think there's like 1952. So he's up there in age. And just like BGS said, you know, their time is over. But my dad still works and does stuff. But it's like, you know, their time is over. You know, we can't really say, hey, listen, you guys are the problem. This is what you did. We're owed reparations. These old ass motherfuckers looking at us like, no, you owe me lunch. What the fuck is wrong with you? Some of them, you know, like some that were there, especially the ones that were there even more so. And for the ones that weren't there and then got caught up in a lot of different shit with the crack era or the drug trade and things like that, with life, with just anything that occurred. And I'm sorry for pointing out just I guess the ones that were in a sense bad. I apologize for that. There were many good ones out there, and they did a lot for their kids, but it still wasn't enough for their kids in a sense, because I guess some of their kids felt like they should get more. Some fathers were not there, some mothers weren't all there either. But I have to say, like, you know, even with all that said, and growing up during a market crash and being 30 when, you know, prepping for the next market crash, because it's going to happen. BGS mentioned it, you know, markets crash all the time. Maybe not to this magnitude, who knows? Everything seems worse when it's you, but, you know, we're going to be the ones in a couple years, you know, God willing, Allah willing, we're going to be the ones that are going to have to explain this to the next generation. You know, my nephew's a young millennial. He's 16. He's going to be 16, I think, in July, or 17 July, actually. And I think it's something important, because if you're going to take anything, right, at least, at the minimum, I think what you should take from BGS and others talking to his credit and talking alongside him, in terms of their experiences and such, is that you will be in their place soon. You're gonna have to figure it out. And then to BGS and his people, we're in our current position because of certain circumstances and a confluence of events that occurred that put us in this position. But at the same time, I will side with your argument and say simply, I understand. Tomorrow I gotta eat, so I'm gonna have to go and get it. And that's the best way I can put it, and that's the best way I can tell millennials to, hey, listen, you know, if you don't want to listen to BGS, okay, but understand you might be in the same position pretty soon, God willing. And to baby boomers, time's up, and I'm not talking me too, you know. So for those baby boomers that sadly are in a bad position, understand this: there are people that have to come behind you and work. Get out of the fucking way. And with that being said, millennials, please understand, if we're saying things like that, I'm saying things like that, I'm going on record saying that, get the fuck out of my way. I have shit to do. I'm ready to take it. Been taking it. Fuck that. Been taking it as necessary, as much as possible. many of you guys know, things that I've done, or that I do in terms of work. Some of you know, I should say. I work a night job. I run a computer consulting business. I went through my experience in 2010, so that's 8 years now, where I totaled 2 cars, and it was the worst point in my life. As Q says, we all have, Q says in his breakdown in the back and forth, or the little mini back and forth between BGS and Kid Organic, or Organic the Illionaire now is his name. Baby boomers are saying that we haven't slayed enough dragons, or we haven't slayed big enough dragons. And I beg to differ, we have. And that could be inductive reasoning. I could be just saying that because I have slayed a dragon. Whether big or small, I have slayed many dragons. There are millennials out here that have not, and they have ran from that battle. We shouldn't really talk about them, or we shouldn't talk to them. Criticism, critique, I accept it. I give criticism and critique. I don't have a problem with somebody giving it. Well, I do have a problem. It hurts my feelings. But at the same time, I have to take the criticism and critique and say, all right, cool. Is this person right? Are they right to an extent? Can I take some of it? Or can I say, fuck them, walk away, and don't show that, they really kind of hit me and hurt my feelings and hurt my fifis? So I really have to look at all of this and, look at all these different pieces and say, fuck it. Tomorrow I still have to eat. I know I've said that a couple of times, but that's the dragon that we all have to slay. Tomorrow we gotta fucking eat. If that's not your if that's not your modus operandi, if that's not your theory, that's not your ethos, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, because tomorrow we're gonna have to eat, because we're about to get eaten. I'm in BGS's comment section, especially under his dark news, all the time, talking about, I bathe in the despair of my people. I fucking love this shit. I want it. Let's go. I'm trying to get this money. Get the fuck out of my way. It's the best way I could put it. Tomorrow you're gonna have to fucking eat. And if you don't understand that, if I can't tell you anything else, I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm back investing in cryptos. I'm back investing in precious metals. I want to buy out a janitorial supply company. Bitch, it's time to eat. If you don't understand that you have come to the table, you've been brought to the table, pull up a fucking chair. It's time to eat. It's time to eat. And I don't mean to get so riled up and passionate, but I understand what millennials are saying. I understand what BGS is saying, and it's pissing me off, because we look somewhat like fools, and so do they, in terms of the previous generation. But fuck all that. You still gotta wake up tomorrow. So what's for breakfast? Thank you as always.